Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ascend. I am Sifu Carl Romain, and I'm here again with my amazing, beautiful, outstanding co-host, the head of SOS Media, Marlene Cruz.
Wow! I mean, it's always
add a little bit.
Yeah, you always add a little bit. That's awesome. I mean, I need you to introduce me all the time.
Hey, you had an outstanding week, by the way.
Yes.
CBS.
Yes.
You're doing things.
Yeah, thank you so much. And we had a great event yesterday.
Great event, magazine cover with Bernice Yee.
And we have a very important topic today to cover with an amazing guest. Can you talk to us about her?
Well, I have known Serina now for 30 years. I know I don't look like, we don't look our age, but I'm just saying, like we're young people here, but 30 years somehow went by.
Yeah.
And this show is so important. And it's something that Serina and I have talked about doing for a long time. And I'm glad that we're finally getting a chance to do it. And I'm going to really let her tell the story because it's so important. And if you're a parent out there, this show is critical for you because you need to talk to your children. There's some difficult conversations we need to have with our children, and this is one of them. So please pay attention. Please take notes. We invite you to join the chat, ask your questions, and I think you're really going to be blessed and just blown away by everything that happens today.
Absolutely. So without further ado, let's introduce
Serina Dansker. Welcome to Ascend on SOSradio.live.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for having me. Especially today is the start of Suicide Prevention Month, September 1st.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's cool.
I didn't know that. That's a great timing. Perfect timing. So give us a little bit background of yourself, tell us a little bit about you and your family and what happened and what we're here to talk about today.
Sure. I grew up in Yonkers, not far from here. My mom was a single mom for most of my life, and we didn't have a lot of money, but we had a lot of love. Mm-hmm. And for a long time, it was just her and I, and she worked her butt off. And as I got older, I worked my butt off too. Worked 3 jobs, put myself through college.
Wow.
And ended up going to Iona in New Rochelle, and I got my bachelor's degree. And then I went ahead and I completed my master's degree. And along my journey, I fell in love with my good friend's older brother, my husband Brad, and we're actually going to be married 30 years as well.
Congratulations. Wow. That is so awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
We'll have to bring you back to talk about relationships. You guys, honestly, they have one of the most beautiful relationships I have ever seen.
Wow, that's amazing.
They're just so together and so supportive of each other. It's outstanding.
For 30 years.
For 30 years.
I mean.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't always easy, I'll tell you.
Well,
but
hey,
we,
nothing good is, right?
Right.
We worked hard together. We built our marriage, and we built our first home, and then we wanted to have children. We wanted to fill the house with love. Family's so important, you know. And as our other friends were having kids, it didn't happen for us.
You guys were together how long at that point?
We started after a couple of years. So let's say married maybe 3-4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, no children. And so we had talked to doctors, and they put you on all these fertility drugs, and then they do artificial insemination, and I mean the amount of hormones that I was on would make your head spin. I mean, my personality, crazy, and I'm high energy to begin with. Okay, no, so it was crazy, but I was lucky because my company that I worked for, they covered all the fertility stuff.
Wow.
So Brett and I had a heart-to-heart, and we said, look, do we continue on this path? Do we just get a dog? What do we do,
Yeah.
And I said, I really want to try in vitro, because if I don't try everything, I may have regrets later on that I didn't give it my all. So he's like, you know what, let's do it. And if it doesn't happen, it's just you and me against the world, babe. And I said, you know what?
That's awesome.
Let's do it. So we went in, we did the shots and the egg harvesting, and I mean, violated in every way you can even think about. And they were able to get 3 embryos. So they implanted 3 embryos. And nada.
Wow.
So it was like, oh God. So maybe it's not meant to be. my company now was getting taken over by another company, because that's what happens in finance. All the companies merge together. And they weren't going to cover the insurance for the in vitro. But I had 1 month, one last shot at it. And I had 3 frozen embryos. So guess what? We put in those 3 frozen embryos, and those were my triplets.
Isn't that amazing?
Wow.
Crazy,
That's
right?
why you can't give up. You know, when you start on a path, you have no idea when or how.
Yeah.
But if you don't give up and you're persistent, it's going to happen.
God
Yeah.
willing.
It's going to happen.
But you know what the doctor said? They said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but that's a failure."
What?
I said, that's what I said. Exactly the same way. What? Exactly. So I was like, "What are you talking about?" And they said, "Well, how many babies did you want coming into this?" And of course your answer is 1. And they said, "Well, then don't be selfish. Give the 1 baby a chance and reduce." And I'm like, "What? Is there something wrong with the other 2 that I have to worry?" Well, no. So my husband asked the question, "Well, which would you take?" They, "Well, we would take 1. We would take the smallest one, which was my daughter, you know, in looking back." And so we're like, "Well, we're going to get a second opinion." And my husband and I looked at each other, and we went to this guy, Dr. Shu, at Westchester Medical Center. And he said, "You stick with me, and you will have 3 healthy babies. Don't listen to them, because if you reduce, you could actually ruin
all 3.
And lose all 3.
That's right.
Wow.
Oh my God! So that's what we did, and I
How awesome
brought
is that?
3 healthy babies into the world.
Good
Wow.
for you.
Yeah,
Good
so
for you for
it's-
getting a second opinion. Good
Yeah.
for you to stick to your guns. Good for you for believing.
Absolutely. Wow.
was,
That's so beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
so
amazing.
It was good. We felt so blessed, and you know, they hit all the milestones together. They went
They
off
did kung fu.
They did kung fu.
They did kung fu?
They did kung
did,
fu.
all 3.
Well, of course. Serina did kung fu with me too.
I did.
Wow.
We're
Okay.
strong for the triplets. Come on.
How was that journey for you, having triplets? I mean, was it
It's funny. Ignorance is bliss. I had never babysat. I had no idea how to change a diaper. It just wasn't on my radar. It wasn't my thing. And I learned very quickly. I cried a lot in the beginning. One baby would be crying to be fed. Another needed a diaper change. The other one just wanted to be held. Which one do you go to first?
Right. Right.
You know, Brad's like, "Bye, he's off to work." I'm like, "Wait."
I go crazy with 1.
Yeah.
Do you imagine with 3? I mean,
Wow.
Yeah, it was definitely a journey, but they did so great. They thrived, and Scott was always the leader, running first, and the other 2 would be chasing him down. And then we were in the middle of 1st grade, and Brad's job changed we were in Nyack at the time,
That's
to
right.
Connecticut. So we made this big decision to move and to uproot the kids and start a new life there. And it was a really hard decision, because you never know what effect that's going to have on them, but it turned out to be a really good decision. The kids thrived. They did well in elementary school, middle
That's amazing.
school. Lexi was even the superintendent's choice. She had the superintendent's award at school, so it was
Awesome.
great.
Yeah.
And then high school hit, and that was problems.
That's when things changed.
I'd say so. I'd say a lot, because, you know, remember thinking back to high school, you get your acne, you have body dysmorphia, you know, you're trying to find your friend group, your sport, and I think for a lot of all of my kids actually, they all struggled figuring it out. But for Scott, for some reason, it hit the hardest, because he was always the center of attention in middle school. He was always on the floor dancing. He was doing magic tricks, writing music, writing poetry, just doing things that made him happy. His soul shined. He was that light that kind of overshadowed everybody. You know, it was always about him. And he struggled to make friends in high school.
Really?
that's ironic.
I wouldn't have thought that, because
Right.
he's so outgoing.
Right.
Right? And people who are outgoing seem to make friends easier, no?
You would think, but the way he said it to me, we used to have candid talks. He'd say, "You know what, Mom? I'm not the jock. I'm not playing football or lacrosse. I'm not the nerd. I'm not the smartest kid in class and doing, you know, all the quiz bowls and that." He's like, "So who's left for me to hang out with? The druggies?" And I got to tell you, my heart just broke. I mean, they all experiment at some time doing drugs, but he really wanted to find his people.
Yeah.
And so he did find a sport. He loved wrestling. He loved it. Everything from everything about it. But it wasn't a popular sport in our school.
It's not.
Mm-hmm.
And he got bullied a lot.
Really?
They would steal his bag of all his gear and just take it, throw it away, or God knows what happened to it. And he would be like crushed because everything that he enjoyed was in that bag, and he would be teased a lot. So he finally decided to seek therapy. We went and we got him a great therapist. He joined the Boy Scouts. He's always part of it, but he got more involved.
So how old was he at that time?
He was about 14 years old, freshman year of high school. And he started to make friends then, and he started to find his people. He started to write poetry to get his feelings out. One of his therapists told him about that. He'd go on these camping trips with the Boy Scouts to the Naval Academy, West Point, and he thrived. He loved it. He was like in the leadership positions in the Boy Scouts and really wanted to make something of that, maybe become an Eagle Scout. And so he was doing well for a while. And then he came to me that summer and he says, "You know what, Mom? I know what I want to do for the rest of my life." And I said, "You do?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I want to be a military guy. I want to be a lawyer, and I want to join like the Navy or the Army, and I want to be a career military guy for like 20 years. And then I'm going to get my pension. And I'm going to take that pension and live off of that. I'm going to go out and buy one of those Volkswagen vans, and I'm going to get a dog. And I'm going to park by the beach, and I'm going to carve surfboards and skateboards, and I'm going to sell them and just live my dream." And I'm like, oh my God, who is 14 years old?
What? I mean, that's what I was going to say. That's clarity of what he wants. And in such a way that, how long, what exactly, then I'm going to do this, then that's amazing.
It was unbelievable. So then I was like, okay, wait, slow down here. And he's like, I said, so you want to go to that? I said, it's really hard to get into the Naval Academy or West Point. Those are not easy schools. He's like, well, so I'm thinking, maybe I go to a military boarding school, which is like a feeder into them. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second. So you want to leave the posh house you have, the great school, the friends you made, and you want to go to a military school? Really? And he's like, yeah. He goes, I actually like the structure. And I could see that because he loved the Boy Scouts and all of that. So that summer, we did a lot of soul searching, a lot of research, and we checked out a bunch of schools in the area. And we actually found a military school down in Florida that was more like a country club. It had scuba diving and sailing.
Oh, wow.
But you could actually become a pilot, get your pilot's license, or all sorts of things. And it started, I think, in military school, but it went up to the high school level. And it was great. We found it, and so we applied, and we got accepted.
How did he enjoy it? Did he fall in love with it? I mean, it sounds like a great experience, right? There's so much to do.
Because it was a new environment for him. So he got to be Scott again, and he was always laughing and the center of attention. They didn't believe that it was his first year there when he started in sophomore year. They thought he's been there for years because of how his personality was so big.
Did he make friends?
He made a lot of friends.
So he found his tribe.
He found his tribe. He was doing great, but just like anything, when you're looking for trouble, trouble can always find you again. So some of the things that he got in trouble for at school up here, he was experimenting with down there. But the difference was it's a military school, so it wasn't me grounding him or taking his phone away. No. Oh, he had to do 100 push-ups. Or 100 sit-ups. Or for 2 weeks he had to clean the latrines.
Oh boy.
And you would think that would have turned him off and called me and said, I'm coming home. Not Scott. No, he thrives. He's like, I'm on latrine duty. I hope it ends. But I'm doing the best I can. So I was happy for him. I really was. He was doing really well. He was thriving in the environment.
So he's settled in. He's making friends. He's having a good time, even if he's getting in trouble.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
Where did he turn?
COVID. The pandemic. So it was March of his sophomore year, right? We're getting close to the end of the school year. Everything shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, even schools in Florida shut down too.
Mm-hmm.
And so he found himself back home in his room. All his friends that he had originally made, they'd moved on or were with other friends.
Mm-hmm.
So he was lonely. These classes that he had, they weren't like where we lived, where they were doing them hybrid, like Zoom calls.
Right.
They would just give him a worksheet with work, and he had to submit it. So he was doing all this work himself. If he had a question, he would have to email the teacher, and they would respond.
Oh, wow.
But it was so difficult.
Yeah.
And he was lonely.
But I have to ask this question though. I'm a twin.
Yeah.
It's very hard to be lonely as a twin because you always have your twin, right? Like, and he's got two of them.
Well, his brother and his sister were doing their school stuff. They had their friends.
Mm-hmm.
And
They
you
have their
know,
world.
as
They built their own world.
even as a twin or a triplet, you do like your own space.
Stuff, yeah.
Don't get me wrong. We had meals together. We did barbecues. We would hang out. But there are times when you're alone. And so Scott, in true Scott fashion, he was looking for an outlet. So he went on LinkedIn, and he was 15 years old. And he found a job at the local garden center.
Okay.
He applied, and he got it. You know, he was a strong guy, you know, he could lift bags of mulch. He liked to get his hands dirty, and he loved it. So by day, from 9 to 5, he worked at the garden center.
Wow.
At night, he did his schoolwork. In his free time, he continued writing his music and his poetry.
Wow.
And he would fall back in with some of his older friends, you know, that he had run into at the garden center when they were going to visit with their parents.
So you started striving again.
Yeah, he turned lemons into lemonade, man.
That's awesome.
It's pretty cool, and we were grateful. You know, we were lucky, I guess, that summer because they were they just turned 16, so they can get their permits, and so now they were practicing driving. He was making good money, and the other kids became lifeguards, and so outdoor activities were okay at the time, and you know, in small groups you can gather. So we made it work. It was good. And then one day, my girlfriend invited us as a family to her house for a barbecue. And Scott's like, you know what, Mom? I'd love to go, but I'm tired. I've been working my butt off. School's got me just crazy. I'm trying to prepare for when we go back. Do you mind if I sit this one out? I'm like, oh, honey, that's okay. You stay home, you know. You earned it. So turns out, you know, he stayed home. We went off to the barbecue. 30 minutes in, I get this frantic call from Scott. Mom, I really messed up. I'm like, oh no, he burnt the house down. What happened? He's like, I stole the car and I crashed it. What car? The car we bought for when you get your license, you stole. Where did you go? I went down to the next town and I went to see my friends, and I was pulling into a parking spot and everything went great, and they came in the car. And I'm like, wait. He goes, and I pulled out and I hit the car next to me. I said, okay, are you still there? I'll come. He's like, no, I'm on the highway. You're on the highway? You're calling me from the highway? I will meet you at the house. Hang up the phone right now. So I run to the house. I see him. The car is all dented in the front. He's like shaking because he's so scared because, you know.
Right.
So I got the full story. So he goes there. He goes to show off to his friends that he's driving. And his friends all get in the car and they're all laughing because they're going for a joyride, right? And then he pulls out, and I did the same thing when I was young and inexperienced. Hit the car next to you because you're not looking in front, you're just looking behind, right? He was so scared that he pulled back in and hit the car again. No one got hurt, thank God. But his friends are smart. They jumped out and ran. So Scott, the brilliant man that he is, decided to leave too. So he drove and got on the highway. So I said, okay, we need to go back.
Right.
You need to write a note. Someone was in the car, parked, and tell them what happened. Leave your phone number, my phone number, and tell them you're going to, make good on this.
Yeah.
Right.
So we go back there, and it was during a riot time. I think it was Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
And we went there, and it was like a lot of traffic, a lot of people out and about, and Scott went to leave the note on the car, and as he did, the guy who owned the car was sitting in it. He was waiting for the police to come. Scott jumped.
Of
And he
course.
said, "Oh my God, Mom, he's in the car." So I walked with him there, and he rolled down the window, and I explained to him, "Sir, my son was inexperienced. I'm so sorry." He says, "Well, I'm waiting for the police to come to file a report." He was waiting probably about a half an hour at that point. Just at that moment, the police showed up. And I was explaining to the man that, please, let us handle this away from the police. He's a new driver. He didn't know what he was doing. And this guy turned out to be such a great guy. He told the police, I think I'm okay, sir. We're going to handle this on our own.
Wow.
And Scott got lucky.
Wow.
Real lucky.
Wow.
Because-
They allowed that.
So what happened?
police?
The police, because remember, they were distracted. You had Black Lives
Too
Matter
much
going on.
Yeah.
He had no time to deal with the little fender bender from the kid and this man. So Scott told this man that whatever it cost to fix his car, he had worked that summer and he would pay for everything. And do you know, every penny that he made
Gone.
went to the
Wow.
Gone.
But it was a good life
Good
lesson
lesson,
for
yeah.
him.
It
Absolutely.
was.
It
yeah.
did give him PTSD though, and he had a lot of self-loathing for what he did. You know, he really had a lot of remorse, and he never did get his driver's license, where his brother and sister continued on that path.
So it did affect him in a way.
Oh, it did.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah.
I think we were talking before about that. The hardest person to forgive is yourself. I know when I do the forgiveness exercise with people, there's two sides to it. One side is the people you need to forgive, and the other side is forgiving yourself. And the list that's always longest is forgiving yourself.
You never think to forgive yourself, but because it's the hardest person to forgive, because for some reason we all think we're perfect, and we're far from it, man.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really hard to be vulnerable like that and say, give yourself grace.
Yeah.
You are not perfect. You're on a journey. You
Yeah.
know? And
So what happened next? So he goes through this. Now he's in a space where he's like upset with himself. His confidence is low. Is he depressed? Is he still seeing his therapist?
He's seeing a new therapist at this time, and what happened was he was writing his poetry. He was trying to figure things out, but thank goodness school reopened down in Florida. So where it was still closed up here and they were still hybrid, down there he was able to go back.
Right.
Because that was the distraction he needed.
Yeah.
And it's junior year. So junior year, you have a lot going on. And he really realized how hard it is to get into the Naval Academy in West Point and any of those other military academies. So he had to step up his educational game. He went with AP classes. Signed up for like 3 or 4. I'm like, that's crazy, that's a lot of work. He's like, I got this. And then his Boy Scouts, he had to become the patrol leader if he ever wanted to make Eagle, so he had to run everything and try and get his Eagle project approved. And so he worked his butt off, and his Eagle project finally got approval. It was so cool. He wanted to build a fire pit at the school, a place where all the kids who after a hard day can gather
Wow.
and have
How cool is
conversations
that?
and just hang
Wow.
out and just be real with one another, talk about their days, make some s'mores,
Wow.
Do you imagine? I mean, it
Yeah.
was so cool. And it's a lot because you have to get the school's approval. It was a waterfront school, so it was a perfect location. So he called me that day, and we were talking about his next steps. He was going to raise money through GoFundMe.
He had it all planned out. Like
He did. He was so funny, and he was in such a great mood, celebratory, and it was awesome. I was so excited for him and so proud of him.
And he
it
was turning
good.
his pain into purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
He literally was.
But sometimes when things are going so great, we have a self-destruct button, or I call it my self-sabotage button. And it showed up for Scott once again. So that night, at about 1 o'clock in the morning, there was a knock at the door. And my husband and I were like, what the heck is going on, So we look out the window and this police car. And all I could think of, oh my God, something must have happened to my mother. She's elderly, it's COVID, she's living alone. So we go downstairs, and the police come in, and I was wondering, maybe it's an intruder, right? Or did one of Scott's siblings try and go out and have fun this night? Not their character, but, couldn't be Scotty's in Florida.
And you had talked to him that day?
I talked to him hours ago about how excited he was for this Eagle project, and it was like going to be great. And the police said, Mr. and Mrs. Dansker, we regret to inform you that your son Scott has died by suicide. What? No. I'm sorry. You have got the wrong family. There must be a different Scott. He's in Florida, not here. Can't be me. They said, well, we got a call from the St. Pete police, and I need you to call them and verify what happened. I didn't want to call. I'm like, no. And they said, well, we can't leave until you verify the details. I just wanted to collapse and just shut down. I was in denial.
Of course.
Where was Brad at this time?
Next to me, talking to he was numb. So I call the St. Pete police. They get the sergeant on duty, and they verified that Scott Dansker died by suicide at school that night.
Wow. Just take a moment.
I felt like I was sucker punched.
Mm-hmm.
I started to hyperventilate. My world shattered. I didn't know what to do. I grabbed onto the nearest chair and I just started to breathe. I think Brad let the cops out because I was seeing stars. And
where were the other kids?
They were sleeping. It was 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
At home with you?
Yes. So at that moment, I realized I needed to gather my strength because this wasn't just about me. I had to protect them and my husband. So we went up to their bedrooms and I woke them and I told them that their brother passed. And it was crazy because one of them said, I just felt like I woke up a little while ago. I felt him here. And we just all huddled together and cried the whole night. It was a night I'll never forget. And I realized that I had to be strong for them because we needed to get through this together. I didn't know how. I had no plan. But I knew that I was the glue. And if we were going to move forward, we had to take it one step at a time.
No, it's okay. I'm feeling it too. I'm like,
that's strong.
Intense.
That's so strong. That's very intense.
Yeah, that's a lot. And having known your children, like, I remember you getting pregnant. I remember how the struggles, the conversations we had about it.
Yeah, how important it was. Now, as a parent, speaking to those parents that are watching that, maybe are going through certain things, or what is your advice as to how to deal with that? One, with the news. Two, with the pain, right? And three, with the having to pick yourself up and continue your life because you have family and 2 other kids. Like, that's easier said than done, obviously.
Well, yeah, God, I give a lot of credit to our community because thankfully, as I was trying to pick up the pieces of my shattered soul, I didn't have to do it alone.
Yeah.
In the days that followed, our community came together. They brought food. They brought groceries. They brought wine. They wrapped us in their love and surrounded us at a time when we needed it the most.
Yeah.
They came over and helped me put together picture boards for the funeral that was coming.
Wow.
They helped us write the obituary.
Wow.
Talk to the people that we needed to let know that that may not have been aware. You know, grief is love with no place to go.
That's powerful.
Say that again.
Grief is love with no place to go. And a child, anybody that passes, there's so much emotion that you have for them. And our kids, you know, were trying to get back into school, but they were struggling. And they said to me and my husband, are we always going to be in this much pain?
How did you guys keep it together? Like honestly, because like husband, like just as a couple to go through it, right? Like you're both feeling pain in different ways. You're experiencing it in different ways. You know, there's the denial stage, there's the anger stage. You know, like you're far from acceptance at this point. Like this is brand new. This is fresh. So, you know, a lot of people, you know, couples may point fingers at each other at this time. It's your fault. Why didn't you know? How come you didn't talk to them? Do that. Like, how did you guys?
That's a great question.
And you still have 2 other kids. Like, how did you guys?
So I think I'm so grateful for marrying the man that I did, because we have a relationship that we were friends, and he's my best friend and always has been. And together we have different strengths. We still have different strengths. We are like yin and yang. And where he's strong, I'm not so much. And where I'm strong, he's not so much. And the healing that needs to go on, and we all do it differently. Brad heals from talking with his friends. I healed from going on with my church and through meditation and healers. My kids heal through therapy and church. But my husband came up with one of the best analogies for what we were going through, and I'd like to share it with you.
Absolutely.
Please.
So if you think about grief and you think about all the pain that's pouring out of you, it's kind of like, imagine being sliced by a machete in your arm. A huge gash is going to form, and it's going to be bleeding like crazy, right? And it's going to hurt like hell. And, you know, it takes a while to stop it from bleeding. But eventually, it's going to stop bleeding. You might need stitches, and it's still going to hurt, and it's going to be sore, and it's going to always be tender. And eventually, it'll form a scar, and that scar will always be there. And when you look in the mirror, you're going to see that scar, and it's going to bring back the memories. But it's not going to be as bad as it is today. And you will have joy in your life again. It's just going to be different. Your body's still there. It's just a little different. It's got a scar on it now. And some of us wear our scars on the outside, and some wear them on the inside. And I thought that was a really great way to explain to them.
Absolutely, that's a good analogy. That's a very good analogy. Are there things that we as parents or family or community can do after you have gone through such, traumatic experience, looking back now? Are there things that we can do as a community, as a family, to help people that find themselves in this situation?
Absolutely. It's funny, at the funeral, there were like almost 1,000 people lined up in the pouring rain to pay their respects to us and to Scott.
Wow.
And the only thing I could think about, I didn't need consoling. I needed to get a message out.
Yes.
A message out to those young people that Scott made a decision. It wasn't a decision I would make. He made this decision because he felt self-loathing or fear of whatever trouble he was in again. And he didn't want to hurt us, which is kind of ironic, really.
Yeah.
And I needed to let them know that he made a permanent decision for a temporary problem.
Yeah.
And by doing and making the choice that he made, it hurt us far more than any trouble he would ever get into.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to send that message to them. And as parents and as our community, it's so important to talk about it. Mental health, mental wellness. People say, oh, I didn't know he was so depressed. I'm like, he was no more depressed than you or I on a bad day.
Yeah.
Or going
Yeah.
through losing a job, or, failing a test, or just being so hard on yourself for whatever reason. Sure, did he do things kids do, try pot or try alcohol? We've all been there. We've all done that. But at that moment in time, his soul was ready to ascend. He was ready to move on. And whatever decision he made, that was his journey. And I think if we can open the doors to talking to our children, to have a class maybe at schools, not just, go see the guidance counselor about it, or sex education. No. Let's talk about how you deal with all of these emotions. Oh, all the kids are making fun of you. Oh, you're on social media and you see that all your friends went to a party. Every one of them were there, but you weren't invited. How do you deal with that? They're making strides, finally. It needs to be talked about. Growing up, I'm so grateful social media wasn't around to record every bad thing we ever did.
Yes.
There's
a lot of pressure in this current time that we're living in. There is not only the social pressures, the bullying, I need to kind of have my own identity kind of thing, right? But there's also what you mentioned, the social media that is out open for the world to watch.
And there's something else too. There's people going through COVID. The whole world socially is separated. They say if you take a baby and you separate it from people, it loses something mentally, right? It hurts them. So imagine what it did to people, and especially people who needed to be around other people socially. Right? That disconnect is something that we should be talking about more often, because young people especially experience this social disconnect, right? And it's still here. It's still here. And parents, if you're avoiding this conversation, you really need to have this conversation. I hope you'll play this back, you'll think about what to say, and maybe you'll sit and watch this episode with your children, because this is a super important topic, and we really don't know what we don't know. We don't know what somebody's thinking. We don't know what somebody's going through. We can relate to it, but how do we know? I work in mental health. I speak to people every day, and I never know. You never know when somebody's making a choice or a decision that they're not really communicating fully to you. You have an idea. You can see that somebody's hurting, but you really don't know.
What are some of the misconceptions that you can share with us?
I mean, I'm just a mom. I don't have my background's in finance, but I can tell you from my experience and what I've gone through is that it literally takes a village for these kids. And inclusion is so important. I think that the rate of suicide in young people skyrocketed. During COVID and in the years following COVID. It was like crazy. It's like we all are carrying around this huge burden, this huge weight. And in the days and the weeks and the months that followed Scott's passing, my community still checked in on us.
That's amazing.
They were there from
really great.
The beginning.
They kept checking, and that's what you need to do. It's like if you see a friend going through a bad day, it's great that you say, hey, what's going on? They say, oh, no, I'm okay, I just failed my test. And then you move on and life goes on. No. Check back. Say,
right.
Hey, did you talk to the teacher about that? Nobody needs you to solve their problems, but maybe you tell them a little bit about what you went through. And maybe that can shed some light and say, hey, I know you went through a hard time. Let's go and go to the library together and maybe, we'll study together tonight. Or let's go and go, to the movies or to the mall and let's go shop.
And especially your friend that's the strongest, check in on them.
Yes. Yeah. We've spoken about
this.
That.
Yeah. Always check in on them. And I know there's a comment in the chat.
Yeah. It's more traumatic than we like to believe.
So
We're talking about
please
the
put
process.
your comments in the chat. Please
Yes.
ask questions. Please join in this important conversation.
Absolutely. If you have any questions or anything to share, we invite it.
I tell you that our community was there for us. We felt like we had this huge weight, this burden on our shoulders, and by them checking in, it lifted the burden. It helped, even just for a little while, because when you ask for help, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength and
Absolutely.
courage. And if you're there helping, that's bravery, because you're showing how much you care. And it's not like you're taking the burden onto yourself, because it's not your burden. You're just helping someone relieve theirs.
Yeah.
And together, it makes such a difference.
So you never get over this. Why are you sharing this story? Why are you doing what you're doing as a mental health advocate? Why are you doing it? Because this brings it all back for you, right? It brings it back for your kids. It brings it back for your husband. Talk to us. Like, why?
Well, I think it's part of self-love. I think one of my favorite quotes from a book by, it's a picture book. It's called The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. I know you think I'm crazy. Charlie Maxey wrote this book, and someone left it in my mailbox during this time I was going through.
Oh, wow.
I mean, amazing. He sends a message, and in the message, I think one of my favorite quotes is, I think it's time to start loving yourself. And in the book, the mole asks the boy, so what do you want to be when you grow up? And the boy says, kind. And I think it's time that we focus on being kind. Kind to each other, but kind to ourselves. And I think now, with this month being Suicide Prevention Month, and the statistics show that every year, over 1 million people attempt suicide, and over 40,000 are successful. I don't want that to be a statistic anymore.
Yeah.
I want that to be nothing. I want to change the way we view mental health, mental wellness. And although I don't have a degree in it, I have passion, and I have resilience, and I have a story.
Absolutely. And a powerful story. And it really takes a lot of courage for you to share it. So I want to thank you for sharing your story, for being brave enough to give that gift to the world and to others, because by sharing information and sharing your experience, you're able to help a lot of people that's statistics. That means that there's a lot of people out there that may not say it, but are going through it.
Absolutely. And, I tell you, for me, for healing personally, books help me. I read a book by Anna Ramonde called Conversations with Mary, and it taught me how to meditate, how the afterlife is a thing, and it's there, and to believe, and to trust, and to have faith. And for me, my healing, I didn't go to a therapist traditionally. I went to healers, and I went to mediums.
Wow.
And I struggled a lot, especially around the first Christmas, because I have triplets. And that first Christmas, I talked to my healer, and she said, how can I help you? And I said, with the triplets, I've always hung their stockings, on the mantle together. What do I do? Do I hang the 3 stockings? Do I only hang 2? Is it too much? I don't want to be, send a message,
Right.
And she said, she was a medium too. She said, let's ask Scott what he thinks. And I'm like, okay, sure. I'm open to all of this. And so he came back and he said, oh yeah, I want you to hang my stocking. And she's like, okay. And he said, and he says he wants a gift too. And I'm like, a gift? He's in heaven. What could he possibly need as a gift? I said, all right.
Wow.
She looks at me and she gives me this sideways look. She's like, he says he wants underwear. And I'm like, okay, this is Scott being his typical crazy self. So I go about my day afterwards, and I'm just stuck in traffic on 95 as always, and I'm thinking about it. And it dawns on me. I did a closed casket at the funeral, but I did dress him in these cute little shorts that he loved, button-down, short-sleeve shirt, pair of sunglasses on his head because he always had his
That was
sunglasses.
like,
But you know what I forgot?
Who's on-
He's commando up in heaven.
That sense of humor, talking about a sense of humor.
So I knew from that moment, because I kept going to
That's
these healers
hilarious.
and mediums, because I needed to know he was okay. I mean, I know he passed, and I obviously not okay, but I needed to know that his soul, his spirit, his energy was still there and still surrounding me. And that showed me. And there's no way in the world.
Anybody would know that.
Nobody would
Yeah,
know,
who would
that.
know that,
I
right?
didn't even remember that I forgot underwear.
Wow.
So I did put a pair of his favorite SpongeBob underwear in his stocking.
He's probably going TMI.
Probably. Although he's probably like, that's right.
You know what I love about how you're telling the story, your humor, and how you are giving the energy, the light that you know that you wish probably that he would have being there, here now, right? Having the ability to do that, because it takes a lot, so that's so beautiful. How do you get to that space?
Oh my gosh. So it's a lot. It's a lot of self-love, a lot of healing.
Yeah.
So
A lot of internal work.
It is. For me, though, I like to think of myself as a phoenix who's risen from the ashes.
I love the phoenix.
I mean,
One of my logos.
I was shattered, and so I think I've taken the pieces of my soul and I've glued myself back together. And, like that art, that pottery from Japanese pottery,
yeah.
kintsugi, right?
Yeah.
Where it's more beautiful when they take
Yeah.
the gold and LA. I think I've become more beautiful from this experience because
Wow.
although I will never be the same,
Yeah.
I've glued back the pieces of me, and I think it's let my inner light shine brighter than it ever would have. And as crazy
Wow.
as this sounds, this journey that I'm on, it's my journey. I think, so if I could put it to you this way, I've come to realize from these retreats, from my healing things that I go on, that we are all souls. We're energy. And I believe that for a brief period of time, we inhabit these bodies. And we come in our souls to these bodies because we want to learn a life lesson. We want to become closer to God. And let's call it 100 years. Some of us learn sooner, some of us takes forever. But once this body dies, our soul, our energy is set free. And that we, at that point, have raised our vibration, God willing. And now we are closer to God, and we can use what we've learned here to lift us. And I think that that's who I am. And I think this journey is the journey I was meant to be. I think it's my soul's purpose.
Wow.
And you have
Wow. So
I mean,
powerful.
Yeah, it's so powerful. I mean, it's exactly like what I was thinking just now. That priority shift.
Yeah.
There's so many times where we make so many things important, and how important are they really? And then we go through an experience like this, and we go, "Oh my God, I had it all wrong."
And perspective.
Perspective, right? You can't get that without going through something like that.
And it's amazing how it also depends on what perspective, like what sets of eyes are you looking at the situation.
Yeah, true.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's so crazy because you change the way you look at things,
Yeah.
and the things you look at change. That's by Wayne Dwyer,
Wayne
right?
Dyer, yeah.
Dyer, Wayne Dyer. And it's crazy. So I went on a retreat not long ago to talk about narrative healing. And this woman, Lisa Weiner, taught me, that whatever you're feeling, and I think Scott already knew this, is you write it down. And you don't have to write it to publish it. You can write it to burn it.
That's right. That's one of my exercises.
It's such a
You
release.
just rip it up and throw it out.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
let
rip
it
it up,
go.
throw it up, put it in the flames.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
needs to know. And I realized that I was actually given a gift because Scott wrote poetry. And if I look back and I reread his poetry, it tells me of a journey that he was on.
Yeah.
And it tells his story. And although I wasn't, although his journey ended or his stories now still continues, and we're able to get a glimpse into his soul from reading his poetry.
Wow.
And it's just, so from this retreat I went on, I got a great idea. I'm like, what if I took his poetry and I publish it? And then I write my narrative about what was going on in his life and my life and just some life lessons. And I'm calling it Spirit of Scotty.
SOS.
But it's SOS.
SOS.
I mean, talk about
SOS.
I mean, you're giving me goosebumps. Like,
She's had goosebumps this whole show.
the whole show, I swear to you. It's
One of the things I wanted to say, if you're out there and you need help and you're watching this show, there is a number to call. The Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is 988. And we need to know that.
Yeah.
I think that's an important aspect too.
okay. So it's just 988.
988.
Okay.
Call for help.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. You know, but talking about the synergy, like SOS, right? Wow. Can you gift us the blessing of reading one of his poems?
It would be my honor. For the first time in a long time, I can say I'm happy. Nobody is snappy, catty, overzealously chatty. The person I used to be wasn't me. It wasn't the best I could be. I let my demons consume me. Bad thoughts constantly pursued me. I was a fool to believe that I could be anybody else but myself. It took some time and encouragement from the people I love to realize the person I am is better than the person I want to be. The person everyone said I should be. It wasn't me. I love myself and the people who surround me, the people who care for me and want me to be the best I can be. Relationships, platonic or not, have a balance that people constantly challenge to make their lives better for themselves and no one else. But who wants a friend that only cares for themselves when there's so much more to yourself? You are the person who you need the most. See the most, and not even weed can boast that true self, that new self, that construed self. So look in the mirror and stop judging your wealth or your health. See the positive of yourself, because you are the best on top of anyone else's shelf. And if anyone tries to drag you down, you pull them up and hand them your crown.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
And he was 16 when he wrote that.
Yeah, it was 2019, so he was 15.
Wow.
And
That is deep.
I just have to say that, I just want to say to the young people out there, just always remember to work hard, have fun, be kind, and always call home, because you are loved unconditionally.
Yeah.
Live your life to the fullest, because
Yeah.
it's your life and it's your journey.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and you know, I would add to that regardless of what you do and what you think, how difficult or how bad you feel about your decisions, there's people out there that will forgive you. So forgive yourself,
Absolutely.
right? I think that's the most powerful, one of the most powerful, you know, messages. You know, forgive yourself.
We are not perfect. Have grace. Be kind to yourself, first and foremost. You have to love yourself before you can love anyone else.
You know what's funny and interesting? One of the show's ideas that I've had for a very long time, SOS, Stories of Success, and it was literally in my mind around fire.
Wow.
I was thinking when you said that,
Oh my God.
I was thinking,
You got chills. You got
I
sitting there back
was
and forth.
like, that's one of the shows that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. It was going to be a TV show. It was going to be called Stories of Success, and it was going to be around fire, telling stories.
Wow.
So there's something here.
There is definitely something here.
I think, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have some stuff to bring back to you guys. Some,
Yes, I mentioned
when you said that, I said, whoa, because that was the exact vision.
And it's amazing. I think it's Scott bringing us closer, his energy.
Wow. Was that ever done in the school?
Yes. I'm so glad you asked. Yes. So as a joint venture between the Boy Scouts and the school, in honor of Scott, they built that fire pit.
Wow.
Wow.
And they dedicated it to him.
Wow.
And they included part of his poem on a plaque there in his memory.
Beautiful.
I can't look.
You have to take me there. I want to see it.
I will. Yeah. It's
You
insane.
can't look.
I know. I see it. I've been watching that whole show.
You can't make this
They were
stuff
so big, they're
up.
going to come out and punch me.
I'm thinking maybe, this is like in my thought, like I'm thinking maybe shooting some videos, right? Some episodes in the school in that area with some of the students and some of his stories.
Oh, that would be so powerful.
That's my vision. Like when you were saying that, like
Yes.
that would be such an amazing, even space, because that's the space that he kind of envisioned.
It was, and it would make those kids there see purpose and see how a community comes together. And I told you, it takes a village, and you don't realize how much your neighbors and your community and your church and the people in the library, everybody has an impact and an influence on you.
That's another message to share, because you never know, even a smile sometimes. A long time ago I was walking down Manhattan and I seen somebody and he looked a little sad, but he was very well dressed and smelled really good. You'll appreciate the story. And I said, "That's really nice clothes that you have." I don't remember if it was African style or something like that. It was really beautiful what he had. And he said, "Really? You really think so?" I said, yeah, really nice, really cool. I didn't think much of it. And he starts walking, then he comes back to me. He's like, "Excuse me." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You know that I was so sad that I was thinking of hurting myself.
Oh my gosh. You see?
And you really made my day, so I want to say thank you."
You never know what
You never
storm
know.
someone is
Right?
going in.
I was like,
oh, that's beautiful.
and it's so amazing, like sometimes one single word, one single smile would make somebody's day.
I'll tell you, I came from tennis and I had these cool new sneakers on and I was at the grocery store. I came out, some guy said, "Hey, I like your kicks." I felt so good. It just, because you're in your head and you got all this stuff going on, and it brings you out. It can pivot.
It can
whatever's
pivot.
going on in your life.
So that's a call for action for everybody. When people ask, what can I do? How can I help? Share some kindness and some empathy with the people that are around you, because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know their story.
And so many times you might like what somebody's wearing, but you don't say anything.
Yeah.
You're just like, "Oh, that dress is nice," but you don't tell them.
Yeah.
Tell them.
Yeah.
Tell them. Yeah, I like your dress, or you smell good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'd like to say something to the school boards,
Yeah.
superintendents, and people listening.
Yes,
because
please.
There are things that we have to teach in school, and then there are things that we need to teach in school. And teaching young people how to deal with their emotions, that's one of them.
Yes.
For me, as in my field, I learned about the ABCs of emotions, how emotions work as an adult. But imagine if kids had that message
Yeah.
and actually understood, this is how our emotions work, this is how we can do better, this is how we go through things.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it could really change something.
I agree.
I agree.
And one of the movies that I really liked that came out not too long ago, Inside Out, I think it was
Yes,
called.
Inside Out, right.
Such
Excellent.
a great
Oh.
movie.
Love
I
that
mean,
movie.
Yeah, love that.
kudos to production for
Right.
making that movie, really.
Right.
Because it really helps, young adults really think about their
What's
emotions
going
and
on
understand
inside,
it, right? Can you close with a message, some final words?
I think my messages to everyone out there is just know that this is a journey. And one wrong move, one mistake, it doesn't define who you are. You're in control of you, and you're in control of how you react to situations. Never let anyone else make those decisions for you. And if you're feeling alone, ask for help. Because I'm telling you, you are not alone. We are here. I don't DM me. I am
Yeah.
there for you. I have a website that my son just put together for me.
Nice.
I'm gonna, when my book is ready, I've got the first draft done. It's serinadansker.com. There's a mailing list you can sign up for. Please do.
Spell it out for us.
SerinaDansker.com.
Yeah, and we're going to put that as well on the description of the show for those of you. For anybody that wants to help, anybody that wants to help your cause, to support you in some way, how can they find you? What can they do?
I have Instagram, s.m.dansker. I also have Facebook. It's Serina Dansker. And I have a TikTok, s.m.dansker. So I'm getting current here with the help of my kids.
That's amazing. That is so amazing. I really want to take some time to thank you because your story is so important, so impactful. By you sharing it, I want you to know that you're helping so many people. And even hearing it, it's helpful for me as a mom to understand and know what kind of conversations I should have with my child. So you're helping people that are not only going through it now to prevent it from happening in the future. So thank you for your courage, because that's amazing.
Yeah. And thank
that's
you.
Amazing.
Thank Brad and your children.
Yeah.
For just being willing to share your story and what you guys went through, and honoring Scott that way. I can't say enough, and I'm so grateful that you were here today, just willing to open your heart and willing to share with all of our listeners, and on such a critically important topic, because it's time for change.
It is a call for action. It is time for change, and thank you guys. I feel so blessed that we have this relationship for so many years, and I'm able to get this message out. Thank you.
I think it was one of his jokes too, the underwear thing and the SOS thing. I mean, yeah, Mom, I found an SOS. So thank you so much again. Thank you for coming, and we got to talk.
We will.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today in this very important, powerful conversation. Do reach out to Serina, and remember,
don't just live, ascend, because every moment counts.
Every moment counts. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
That's right.
Same channel,
same co-host.
Marlene and
Sifu Romaine.
Bye, guys.